Wake up, babe. The CCP's latest CCPurge just dropped, and so in all likelihood have several starred generals in the Chinese Communist military, which may sound like a standard Saturday in a Sino-socialist dictatorship, but conceive how cataclysmically difficult it must be to track down and disappear your enemies in a country where everyone is a damn doppelganger. China, the only country where you're not sure if your eyeballs are being harvested for medical purposes or culinary purposes. Tonight's organ theft hors d'oeuvre, the third most powerful official in the Chinese military, General Hu Weidong. Hold for laughter. See, the American press has this thing where they're all cucks and commies, and being Bolshevik adjacent, whenever the CCP's involved, they carry more water than Matthew Perry's lungs. Consequently, despite the fact that credible, repeatedly confirmed sources in and outside the socialist dystopia had already established the general disappeared like Paul Stanley's singing voice all the way back in early March, the Markstream media danced the lambada around this accusation for March and most of April, only quietly confirming Xi Jinping done deleted this dude this week. Now they're willing to admit Hu Weidong ain't been seen in over a month, much like my sides after reading his name. See, you think you've mustered sufficient furnace-like hatred for journalists, but I assure you, Littlefoot, it's a long way yet till you arrive at the Great Valley. And get this, it ain't even entirely clear if Ginny the Pooh or his enemies outside the Politburo initiated said purge. Like Ashley St. Clair having an infant or an adult in her vagina, either eventuality is equally probable. And much like Ashley's birth canal, he has plenty of company. Vice Chairman Zhao Yuzha ain't been seen since March. Defense Minister Li Shangfu swan dived down the memory hole last June, and PLA Admiral Miao Hua was, and I quote, suspended in late November, days after meeting with Biden officials, for serious violations of discipline. And it's appropriate that sounds like a penalty in football, considering that's probably what his skin was used to make. And all of this just in the past few months, after eons of imbeciles and hacks at the Hoover Institution insisting the savage Orient would be catapulting from communism to capitalism any day now. Ever since the ascent of Ginny the Pooh, we've witnessed a crackdown of biblical proportions. It's estimated conservatively that since ascending to the top of the CCP, Xi Jinping has initiated a Xi Jin purge of nearly 5 million CCP officials between 2012 and 2022 alone. Hey, Marxists and monarchs, remind me again how much more sweepingly efficient princes and proletarian dictatorships are than even the most corrupt democracies again. From up here in the cheap seats, that looks more awkward than take your daughter to work day at Planned Parenthood. How do I know dictatorship doesn't work? Simple. I've worked retail, retard. Let not your lips utter the words efficient and absolute rulership until you've worked as a night manager at GameStop. Oh, my sweet summer simp, you haven't scaled the dizzying Olympian heights of absolute uncontested authority until you've labored in vain to count on a cash register while a menudo-sized horde of Mexican toddlers knock every item off the toy rack while your key holder hits on an ugly chick and a hobo with pants full of poo shadow boxes demons in the DS section. The most efficient thing about the Chinese is their damn fire drills, and dictatorship is exactly why, which is why they're handling their reversals of fortune in the inbound tariff war with a dignity and poise we haven't seen since Will Smith at the Oscars, and a polish we haven't seen since Will Smith's wife's head at the Oscars. What we're witnessing is the world's largest producer economy, China, coming into conflict with the largest consumer economy, the United States, which presently accounts for over a quarter of all income for the commies. And while that might appear something of a stalemate to the uninitiated, the truth is Xi Jinping's own actions are evidence he was embattled before all this. In a recent rant, I broke down the dong-flattening fentanyl tariffs Trump slapped on the Sino-socialist hermit kingdom. And that was after the COVID apocalypse and the obliteration of their real estate market. China barely ass reconstituted themselves by obnoxiously overproducing cheap lead-lined crap at a rate utterly incommensurate with actual demand. A practice Xi Jinping all but imposed at gunpoint, racking up retarded trade surpluses, and when Trump caught on to that, the commies rerouted their big lots bullshit through proxy countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and Japan. And hey, would you look at that? Xi Jinping's been spending the first 2 weeks of the trade war visiting Vietnam, Thailand, and Japan. Why, whatever Whatever would they have to talk about, I wonder? Hey, maybe they could rap about Vietnam's exports peaking to an all-time high without their gross domestic product rising a single inch. Or maybe they could ask Pinko Poo if it's true he pushed his foreign affairs minister down a flight of stairs. But that would be Wong on so many levels. People say I hate China, but I actually think it's kind of neat how they made an entire language out of bad tattoos. But for efficiency in government and moral certitude in the face of crisis, I'd sooner trust Dick Cheney with a fifth of Jack and a loaded shotgun than the Chi-Coms. If you want efficient leadership, join the Power Rangers. But if you want an imbecilic, inefficient, nigh-perpetual drama of succession with more purges than Ariana Grande's toilet, run, don't walk to the only communist utopia on earth where Panda Express isn't just a restaurant, it's also a menu item. I'm Razor Fist. Godspeed.